Welcome to RCT Theatre's annual pantomime production. This year's wonderful production of Jack and the Beanstalk will have you cheering and maybe a few boos added to the mix. This pantomime will play both our theatres, the Coliseum Aberday from the 1st of December until the 11th and the Park-and-Day Theatre Treorchy from the 16th of December until the 24th. The performance takes place in our main theatre spaces that has 2 levels in the Coliseum Theatre and 3 levels at the Park-and-Day. As you arrive at the theatre, you will be greeted by our front of house staff teams who will scan your ticket and show you to your seat. Tickets can be collected from the box office, printed at home, or you can use an e-ticket on your phone. If you're collecting tickets from our box office, this is how you find them. The Coliseum box office is located inside the main foyer to the right, and the Park-and-Day's box office is situated directly in front of you as you enter the main foyer. The lifts down to the auditorium at the Coliseum can be found at the end of the lounge bar double doors and to your right. And the lift to the Park-and-Day auditorium can be found down the corridor towards Studio Een. Take a right, down the corridor again, and through a double door. At the end of the corridor, the lift is to your right. Steps to your seats from the foyer are downwards at the Coliseum with a turn to your left midway and upwards at the Park-and-Day, again with a turn to your left midway. At the top, be aware there is a narrow platform before you enter the double doors and into the space. Free programmes are available from the front of house teams as well as trigger warning sheets to help audience navigate the performance. There are refreshment kiosks at both theatres. They can be found to the right in the Coliseum foyer, and the kiosk in the Park-and-Day can be found in Studio Een, which is located at the right of the box office down the narrow corridor. It is advised that if you're being guided that you walk in single file. The toilets for the auditorium of the Coliseum can be found through the side doors at the midway point in the theatre. The gents can be found through the left double doors, and once in the corridor, take a left, and the toilet door can be found a few metres on your right. Please be aware that there is a step up onto the threshold as you enter. The ladies and disabled toilets can be found to the right of the auditorium through the double doors. Bear right down the corridor and through a single door. The ladies' toilets can be found right in front of you and the disabled toilets to your left. There are also toilets on either side of the circle, female toilets to the right and gents to the left. At the Park-and-Day, the stall toilets can be found back down the stairs towards the foyer. The ladies are to the right at the box office, and the gents and disabled toilets can be found at the bottom of the corridor that leads to Studio Een. Again, be mindful if you're being guided that it's a very narrow corridor. The circle toilets are found towards the entrance doors on the level where you enter the main space. Gents can be found on the right and females to the left. Once you are seated in your seats, the stage is directly in front of you. The production begins with a white background cloth with the image of the title logo Jack and the Beanstalk projected onto it. When the overture music begins, a colourful lighting display will spill around the room and cloth, giving a sense of magic is happening all around us. Framing the stage are light green portals with white fairground lights around the edges that sparkle and glisten during the show. The floor is a mix of purple tones with accents of grey pebbles dotted around. Each scene change will take us to different points of our story. Here is a quick run through of the scenes and descriptions of what is going on stage. Scene 1. We are in a magical place where we first meet our beautiful fairy Flora and wicked Splash Creep. The stage is lit with a white stage left and the evil red stage right. It is traditional in panto that the good character always enters from the left and the baddie always enters from the right. During the opening song, the white cloth will raise and reveal our wonderful lead panto characters, Jack, Princess Apricot, King Crumble, Utterly and Butterly, our comedy duo, and our crew of young dancers. We find ourselves outside Dame Dorothy Trot's windmill and outside toilet block. The buildings are painted in tones of orange to red. There is also a wooden picket fence with flowers and shrubs, and a sty at the back of the stage. Behind the cloth is a painted-like forest with a glen and a path leading out to the open pasture. Either side of the windmill are 2 white rose bushes in green and gold pots. There is also a glittered toilet plunger attached to the tea bath as the flash for the toilet hanging from the roof. Scene 2 takes us to the village cloth that is hanging front of stage and is painted in fun panto colours. There are rolling hills and mountains and a pale blue sky with candy floss clouds. In the centre is a cobbled path and a few trees growing alongside. This leads to King Crumble's palace. To the right, in the distance, we see Dame Trot's windmill. This cloth is used throughout the performance for quick scene changes and is referenced as the village cloth. Scene 3. It's time for the Merry Pandy Fair, where we are greeted by Dame Trot and all the local villagers for some fun in the snow. There is a huge Christmas tree off centre right that is sparkling full of lights, red bows and baubles. It also has a large sparkly red star right at the top. There's a panto pink stone bridge to the left where villagers can walk to the town. The cast sing and dance Christmas songs with candy cane walking sticks. Scene 4. Back to our village cloth with the rolling hills and cobbled path to the palace. Flesh Creep plays a trick on Jack and steals his silly cow Daisy for a bag of 5 magic beans. Scene 5. It's night time. And we are in Dame Trot's scene with her windmill and toilet that is dimly lit for this scene where Dame Trot scolds Jack for selling Daisy the cow for 5 magic beans. She flushes the beans down the toilet in temper. Scene 6 is where all the panto magic happens. Thanks to Fairy Flora and her dancing spirit, she waves her magic wand and helps the beans to grow. It starts outside the windmill, but as the song begins, the white cloth is lowered, moving the action to the front of the stage. When the cloth is once again lifted, we are greeted with a large green beanstalk with an additional magical element. There is a 20-minute interval where ice cream can be bought from our front of house staff in the main auditorium. During the interval, the safety curtain is lowered. The curtain is a deep red in colour and is lifted just before the second half begins. Scene 7. We open the second half in Cloud City, where Blunderball the giant lives. We have a sky blue and candy floss clouds backdrop and cut-out shapes of clouds dotted around the stage. In the far left corner of the stage, the top of the beanstalk protrudes out of the mist. There's also a carved staircase snaking down from the top of the beanstalk to the main stage. Scene 8. We next visit a creepy castle corridor cloth with big painted brown wooden doors at the centre of the cloth, with lit sconces either side of the doors, as well as cold stone walls painted in brown and grey tones. Here we meet some scary creatures. Scene 9. The Giant's Chamber is our next stop, and King Crumble is held prisoner in a large metal dusty cobweb birdcage, which is set on the stage left. There is a very tall table covered in old rags and a stick-style nest where the golden goose sleeps with the rats and the spiders. The backdrop is of a roaring fire in a hearth, and a red flagstone floor and dark stone walls and stairwell leads up to the next level at the far edges of the cloth. Scene 10 is the giant castle corridor cloth time again, with the big brown doors at the centre. This time there will be lots of silly fun happening. Scene 11. Back down the beanstalk we go and land back in the village where we have the rolling hills and castle cloth. Watch out. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Blunderball is on his way back down. Scene 12. We meet our handsome Jack outside the dame's windmill as we celebrate his success. Scene 13. Our dame helps the boys and girls learn the song sheet in the front of the village cloth. We might even invite 1 or 2 of you onto the stage to help out. We also use the time for shout-outs and birthday wishes for our audience members who might be lucky enough to celebrate their birthday during the panto season. Scene 14. It's time for us all to say farewell and sing just one last song. Back outside Dame Trot's windmill is where we all belong.